Welcome back to the Founders Table. I am Stefan here as always with
Drew Sanford. Welcome. It's another great Monday for everybody. We are super excited for today's podcast.
Exactly. And we are excited about a topic that we're going to tackle today. It's about how to scale and grow your business without losing your soul.
Man, that's such a great topic because as businesses grow and, business owners typically have this like latch on their business. It's mine. I want to make sure it goes good. And then letting go of little pieces is like the dagger in the heart for some people.
Absolutely.
And it's like, how do, everything could spiral out of control if you give one piece, two piece, three piece. So This is a great topic. It's going to be a great day.
Absolutely.
Let's rock.
Yeah, in the past conversations we've had, we've talked a lot about vision and knowing where you're going. And it's easy when you start a company to have that vision, and it's kind of all you have to hold on to. And so you're building through that. But as you're growing and you're bringing on employees and bringing on a team, sometimes there's things that can falter that. So as we have this conversation, we would love to hear some feedback, maybe some ways that you've struggled in the past with growing your business and making sure that the vision and the soul of what the company is stays. And so we're going to have a good convo today.
I like it. I think there's two camps of this conversation. When you start this, I think there's camp, I'm a plumber, I'm a whatever it is. I go do my job, I build my customers, I make money, I go home. It's what I do. It's my job. And then I think there's something else, like as you scale and start developing and you start growing, and maybe you've gone out on your own, you've done that, and you're in that first camp. Nothing wrong with it, right? Like some people just don't want to do that. But I think our audience is not people that are a one-man show, one-woman show, something like that. Like this is... we're wanting to scale, we're wanting to grow, we're wanting to do stuff. So I think the second camp is what happens is you start kind of like what I alluded to a little while ago. It's really hard to take that first step and to let something go. And then inside that bucket, I think you've got two people. One that's afraid to let go. So you're not letting go of anything. You're a micromanager. You might even run people off because like you won't let go of the stuff. So people leave, whatever that is, and you've caused problems there. That's a great conversation on that. The second part of that is you've just let everybody come help you. And now all of a sudden your business is morphing into something that you don't know what it is or what you want. You got employees running around doing stuff, this person running around doing stuff, that person running around doing stuff. And the whole reason behind what you've done is going by the wayside and you don't know how to get it back under control. We're going to talk about both those today.
I love it. So when we talk about this phrase, scaling without losing your soul, let's just build a definition. What does that mean to you, Drew?
I think when I look at it, even the government, when you build an entity on your taxes for a business, it is its own living, breathing item, right? Yeah. It's not really a person, but it's viewed as, in courts and everything else, kind of as its own thing, right? Like there's officers and CEOs and people involved and owners and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, the company, the entity is its own. So I think it's very important to understand that you have a business that is starting to do its own thing. And as it grows and as you do stuff, and as, maybe you and your wife have it and it's you and your wife, you do this, your wife does that, then you bring on an employee and then you bring on another employee. Well, now all of a sudden your business is a little bit different because it takes a little bit of life from one employee, a little bit of life from the second employee. Now you got three people together to do that. So I think you have to filter through what that looks like and you need to know what the business wants to be. And I think this is where we go back and say, look, last week we talked about putting parameters and guardrails around your business and what's your guiding North Star. And I think that's where it's important to understand of what that is. And I think that's where we're going to start today is, what's your guiding North Star with your business and what it needs to be. And can you always go back to that and say, the business has changed a lot and adapted a lot and grown into its own thing. But how do I keep that in line? And what are the guardrails I'm going to put around this business to get where I want it to be?
Absolutely. When we built Elevate, I mean, we had a DNA for Elevate from the very beginning. And as we're going to talk about this, as we're bringing on employees, bringing on agents, each one of those people are going to have an effect, good or bad, on the DNA 100%. Of what we're building.
100%.
And so while it's so important that we hire and bring on the right team, it's also really important to see what their qualities are and see how that's going to affect us in a good or positive or negative way as well.
Yeah. So what was your North Star when you were doing this? Like what were some of those kind of guiding principles of the business?
Yeah, I think, are you talking Elevate specific?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the real estate world, I had clients and we saw a need for the marketing of properties done well. The real estate market had shifted a little bit. Houses were staying on the market a little longer. And we saw an opportunity where we could serve our clients in a new way, in a more unique way, and we could build the resources around it that a lot of agents, especially individual agents, weren't able to provide because they just didn't have the structure in place. And so for us, we saw a need and we wanted to fix it. And with that, not only is that resource so important, but it's also important that you have people in your corner that are a team around you that can support you and that you can trust every single step of the way. Yeah. And so that became our North Star. That became part of our DNA, is how are we going to build something that people can trust, they can know we're always in their corner, and that we can also use that platform to make an impact beyond this office or this space.
Yeah, I think Drew 8 years ago would have been like, "What? Who cares? Like, we're going to make money, we're going to do our thing, and we're going to evolve and adapt and do everything we can do." And it's not wrong, but at the end of the day, like, as I've developed and matured as a business, like, there's more important things than making money and doing that. Like, anybody can make money doing anything they want, right? Like, that's what's so amazing about the U.S. That's what's so amazing about the world we live in today. That technology and everything, like, you could go make money however you want to go make money. That being said, to be able to make an impact on people's lives, on your community, on the world around you, to be a godly leader of your family, of your business, of the community, that is such a bigger, more powerful thing today to Drew as it was years ago. And I think it is our responsibility of good Christian men to actually step up and say, look, I don't want to just have a business and then donate some money to charities and do that and pretend that life is good, right? Like, that's not the purpose of life. The purpose of life is getting souls to Christ, keeping your family in check, doing the right thing, doing all the boxes that we want to check as a good Christian man. Yeah. That being said, I think if you're watching, obviously this is a Christian-based podcast on business and entrepreneurship, right? So that being said, making money isn't the key. The key is to do it in the right way, the right foundation, and the right stuff. And I think when you look and you say, oh, well, these guys are just talking about, this North Star guiding and values and principles, and I don't need to do all that. And my friend made a business and he didn't give a crap about that. Not our problem. You know what I mean? But it is. If you want to do the right thing, you want to be a good person, you want to follow a good Christian life, you need to do certain things. And I think this is something to keep yourself from losing your soul. Yeah. And I think that's what's so important about this is this is the stage when you start scaling, the bad stuff could happen. And is it bad that's going to end the business? No, your business may explode. Yeah. It could. But you know what else could happen? You could be working for your business, not the business working for you, and you could lose your family. Yeah, exactly. You can lose your wife. You can lose your kids' time, effort, God, time value, friends' time value. The list goes on. And like, when you have a good business starting to run and take off, that is the spot where's your North Star. And if you're not checking up on that, you could be opening the door for something not good to happen. Yeah, we talk with a lot of business owners that are successful business owners, and there's always a season to grind in business. Like, there's a season, I think in our whole life, there's seasons for everything. But they will talk to us about how they wish they didn't sacrifice so much. It's always a sacrifice. To build something, you're going to sacrifice. But for us, it's so important that we do not sacrifice being a husband, being a follower of Christ, being good dads. Like, those are the items that when we're building this thing, we have to keep first and foremost. And so as we do that, maybe on paper it slows down our scaling. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's building a foundation. God's got a funny way of making stuff work. And I watched it happen with building this business and building the marketing team and all that stuff. When you change your focus and you shift to the things that matter in life, the rest of it's just minutia. You focus on the right things, it all falls in place. And whatever business you're in, you're going to start to realize that the clients that have those same focuses are the ones you're going to work with. And the businesses that have those same focuses are the ones you're going to and that's where we're going to talk about here in a few minutes on the niches. I mean, that's exactly what applies to the niches section of this that we're going to talk about. So, I look at like the culture and how to scale and how to do that stuff. And to me, I equate it a lot to like the AI fear, right? Like, you got these robots walking around and they've taken over the world and they know what to say and how to say it. Like, your business is the same thing, right? Like, if you go to ChatGPT and you give it prompts, it's going to kick stuff out. And sometimes it talks about left field worth of stuff. That's the same thing with your business. And if you look through that lens, I think that's what happens. And we've watched businesses in today's environment kind of struggle, and you go, oh my gosh, why did they do that? They lost their audience. It's a big, Cracker Barrel's one of those. knows
Yeah.
like what happened. And I think if you give your business its own living entity, if you give it prompts, it's going to kick something out. I think AI is very similar to your business and as you grow this. So I think if you have the idea as you grow your business, look, the prompts that I'm going to give it, the North Star is guiding here. This is what we want it to be, right? And then I bring in Steve, Bob, and Jim. They're putting prompts into it as well. And it's all taking shape and evolving and growing. So today, as we talk about that, you just need to be aware, because awareness with it starts allowing you to have actionable items. And if it's going in a direction you don't like it, go back to your North Star, go back to why you did this, go back to the why. We've talked about the why a bunch. Go back to the why. And then you need to look at your employees and say, look, if their why is drastically different from your why, I'm not saying red people and blue people can't work together, but it's one of those things that you need to figure out if the culture and the goal is what it is and what the business that you own, if that's where you want it to be, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Your team speaks so much, whether it's on paper or not, the way that they act, the way that they build culture within the team, with your clients, with your customers. If you allow something that's so polar opposite of what your culture is, then it's absolutely going to affect you. Just like with AI, you put in a prompt, it's going to tell you kind of what you want to hear, and you can be spread out 15 different different ways. How do you keep that focus so strong that that's the guiding focus while you're also serving in those other ways?
Yeah. And I don't want people to hear me that these people and those people can't work together, right? Like, that's not true. Like, it's great to have a broad perspective. Like, I love difference of opinions and communicating. And, when I go into a room with our marketing team, we say, okay, we're going to do this. Like, I love it when people are like, nah, dude, you're wrong. And this is why. Like I want that. I don't want to say combative, but like somebody fired up, like, no, I'm doing it this way because they care, right? Like, and that's a great thing to have when you put 3 or 4 people together in your group and it's difference of opinion. But at the end of the day, we're not going to take away from our family. We're not going to take away from our walk with Christ. We're not going to, what are those things that you're not going to take away? Those are non-negotiables, right? Absolutely. And those non-negotiables, that needs to be at least, even if they don't agree with it, that's fine. But look, this business, this way, you may not agree, but this is how it's going to be at the end of the day. And that's going to keep the business that you're working so hard on to keep it at least going to the true north, right? Yeah. So something that I love, we were talking on the way over here when we were shooting this podcast. You were talking about door hangers. Simple, a door hanger. You're going to go hang a door hanger on a door for real estate. But how much more is there to a door hanger? Talk about that.
I think this is a good conversation to have with the tasks. So you have the 2 different sort of mindsets. You have kind of the visionary mindset, where they are always in the clouds. They're thinking about what's coming next. They're thinking about how they can make an impact, all those great things. And then you have kind of the tactical mindset, the person that's actually implementing what's going on. Without the visionary mindset, you don't know where you're going. But without the tactical mindset, you're not gaining ground getting there. And so it's got to have both mindsets, whether it's people on your team, whether it's within your own industry, you've got to have both of those set. You've got to know where you're going. You've got to dream big. You've got to build the system. And then you actually have to implement it. So for us with door hangers, it's kind of a funny conversation that I've had to learn and grow in because door hanging is a very minimal task. It seems like if you just hand door hangers to a random person, it can seem like this is kind of a pointless thing to do. But when you put purpose and meaning behind any task, and if you're intentional about it, then it's going to show the value and the DNA and the soul of your company. So for example, for us, we want to build a company that supports our agents well, that markets for our agents. We want to build a company that gains clients so that we can have properties for our customers. We want to build a company that if we have a customer looking, then we're going to help find them. We're going to be proactive on finding a property for them. So for a door hanger, it's much more than just putting a door hanger out on a door.
Let me stop you there though.
Okay.
You had 2 different people. You have the visionary, kind of where we're going, and then you have the tactical, right? So I think from the tactical lens, we're going to make a really good looking door hanger. We're going to put the information we need.
Present well.
Yep. Presents well, looks good, phone number, QR code, whatever it is. I don't care. Get those out to 10,000 people because at the end of the day, every 2,000 door hangers you hang, you get a real estate client, right? So let's just pay some kids, pay somebody to go out and hang a bunch of door hangers, right? Like tactics. Let's get as many of them out fast as we can. Go. Okay, I agree. I'm put your foot on the gas
Let's
type
go.
of guy. But here's the problem, though. Now you spin it back into, well, today's 2025, and guess what? 5 years ago, there wasn't a Ring doorbell on every single house.
Mm-hmm.
Today, it's odd if there's not a camera doorbell on a house.
Yeah.
It's 99% of houses have one. Fair?
Absolutely.
So something that you have to keep in mind, if you're going to lose your soul and lose your vision, you hire some random company to get random people to go hang door hangers, and they show up wearing tennis shoes and grungy clothes. The person goes, who in the heck is at my door? Their phone's going to vibrate. There's somebody at my door. What is this person doing? Then all of a sudden they get home, and now they just connected potentially some grungy, rough-looking person that's making minimum wage hanging door hangers to Elevate Real Estate Group or whatever that is, right?
The face of the company.
As the face of the company. So you just allowed somebody to come in there and do that. And I think this is where, as stupid as it is, a door hanger, this is the soul of your company of what it is. And this is how fast in life, especially today, that it can all change the vision of your company, the vision of what that living thing is.
Yeah.
And that's why it's dumb. And I'm much more of a person to just go get it done and we'll worry about it later. But the audience needs to understand everything we do is adapting and changing, and stuff's happening, and you still make impacts on people. So if you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, I have we keep using the plumber example. I have a plumbing company. I paid somebody to go hang a bunch of door hangers for me. And what image did I really give the person?
Yeah.
When we go out and do door hangers now, we are very, you wear nice clothes, you wear nice shoes, you have a button-up
Great interaction,
shirt. Smiling. Even if nobody's there, somebody's there.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's there. When you walk up and hang that door hanger and that Ring doorbell's sitting in your face, you smile, hang it, walk on, right? You're not on the phone talking. You're not, because that's an impact. So this example I love for today's subject, because as a stupid, small tactic of hanging door hangers that most people are going to throw away, it's so much more.
Oh, yeah.
And the vision of your company and the brand. So it doesn't matter if you're a business owner, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be something that doesn't matter as trivial as a door hanger, and it could be something as important as, am I going to make payroll this month or not? At the end of the day, what you do and how you do it, it all adds up. And that's what you need to be aware of. And you need to make sure, if you're in the camp of sitting here going, man, I want to scale my business, but I'm afraid to, or I'm not. Those are the examples that you need to think about. If you've lost control of your business, let's start breaking those down. Look at your outbound marketing that you're doing. Is that what you envision? And not just the material, the who and the what and the why behind it. All right, good. Put that in the bucket. I like it. We've got this under control. Okay, my sales team. If I'm a plumber and I've got a salesman that's running around talking to people, is he speaking how you want them to speak? Is he communicating how he wants to communicate? Does he have the image and the look and the value? Our guys run around and wrap trucks. Why? Yeah. Because it's our branding. Yeah. We can make it their branding for their niches, but it's our branding at the end of the day to make the right image of the value image that we have, that the image of my company in my head is what's the image and value on their vehicles that they show up in, wearing our clothes, wearing our stuff. And that goes back to, if the business is going down the wrong way and you don't like it, you need to start looking at all the different sections of that business and saying, how do I fix it? How do I fix it? How do I fix it? And that's how you start bringing it back in line, and you start getting guardrails around it. So for the camp that says, I'm out of control with my business, that's the start with how you do this.
Yeah. Automation is a great thing.
100%.
I mean, we want to be efficient. We want to automate as much as possible, but I think we have an opportunity. I mean, for us, we want to have lasting impacts. That's one of our core goals. We want to have lasting relationships, lasting impacts. And so if we can utilize automation in order to get a seat at the table, but then in those moments, we can make those actual lasting relationships. We can start those in a real way.
Yeah.
I think we can, if, like you said, we can automate all of these things
We've
to go
all
out.
read an email that you're like, ChatGPT.
Exactly. And we utilize AI in positive ways, for sure.
If you're not, you're getting left behind.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So automation is key, but at the same time, there's got to be the personal touch to it. There's got to be, if your goal is I want to have a lasting impact, and I want to not only gain this client, but I see the value of them as a human, and I want to work with them long term, then you've got to have those moments where you're presenting yourself in that light.
And that's where our niches come in, right? Like, I preach niches and niches and niches and niches, because there's always enough business if you go find it, right? Yeah. So whether you're a plumber, okay, Are you going to go work on every house? Sure. It's my first year in business. If you've got a pulse and you're willing to pay, I'll come do the job, right? But as you start doing this and developing, if you love playing golf, well, go get around people that love to play golf. If you love being in the outdoors, get around people that love being in the outdoors. Because at the end of the day, we are creatures that like to interact with each other.
We need relationships.
100%. Yeah. Our body yearns for relationships. How are you going to build a business? If you build a business and you're just taking on every single client you can and just growing to the moon, you're not going to have people that have like-minded things with you, which again is okay. But if you're trying to be a good Christian person and you're around good Christian people, guess what? You're going to be around that stuff. And I'm not saying not to go out and minister to other people. That's not what I'm saying. But when you're around people in your environment and your ecosystem that likes that, it's definitely going to be a lot easier to grow and to do things. And you're going to find a better path to that when you do that. And take out the Christian side. If you're around outdoor people and you like outdoor stuff, guess what? You just build a connection. Yeah. You like golf, you just built a connection. And that's what we look for.
You and I have done door hangers through neighborhoods, and there was a guy working on his boat. And what a connection point. You knew, I don't know anything about boats, so there's no conversation point for me.
We were talking about live scopes and spinning rods and shake-em-a-bobs and hula poppers.
And people want to work with people that they relate with and they understand. And so what a better way than to do that. So I have a question for you on a tactical side.
Yeah.
You're my tactical guy.
Yeah, let's go.
So when it comes to niches, we can use real estate. We can use whatever industry we want. What are some examples of ways that you can really utilize niches to stay on point, stay on focus, and keep those lasting relationships while being able to scale as well?
Yeah, I think it boils down to, our agents that we have, there's some 101 real estate people that you always have to deal with. There's always going to be first-time home buyers. There's always going to have people that are looking for higher net worth homes.
You got downsizers.
You're always going to have so you've got some buckets of that, right? But then we go through and we have buckets for Wyatt likes to be in the outdoors. So he's going to be our outdoor guy. Drew Simon, one of our other agents, likes to be outdoors. So if they're going to a DU banquet, they're going to a National Turkey Federation banquet, they're already there. They already have people. They go to the hunting club and shoot clay pigeons every Thursday night. Like, those are people that you're around. Well, you need to do business with those people that you're around because they trust you. Yeah. Right?
And no matter what sector you're in, whether it's plumbing, there are plumbers out there that are going to take advantage of people.
100%.
It's just, it is what it
100%.
is. And so it's our duty to the people that we care about, the people that we're around. We know that we can control that. We're not going to take advantage of somebody. We're not going to try to get every single penny out of somebody when they're trying to fix a problem. Yeah. And so we see it as a responsibility to make sure we're getting our name out there, to make sure we're telling people what we're doing, because we know that we can provide value to them that if they just go out into the marketplace, who knows what you'll find. The same's true in real estate in every way.
And an example I have for this is I'm a big fisherman. I've fished and done a whole bunch of stuff all over the country, blah, 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 fish tournaments. So that's great. Well, then you go talk to business world, you get back from your event and you walk through the CPA firm and you start talking to somebody and my buddy over here, he does construction and he likes to fish. Hey, how's fishing? You been fishing lately? No, man, I've been too busy. So the point is if you're around people that like to do that stuff, guess what you're going to go do? You're going to go enjoy your hobbies and get outdoors. You're going to, if you have that connection with somebody, not only are you have a reason to talk to them, you have a VBR, a valid business reason. Hey, did you go do this? And then that leads in, oh, by the way, I need some help with my son's house needs this fixed or my, whatever that is. So you get in those niches. And if you're around those people and you're around doing that type of thing, you're never going to work a day in your life when you're around the people that like doing the same stuff that you like to do.
Yeah. And as a business owner, somebody that's building something, I mean, our job is to just get people in our corner and to show people this is the value that we provide. And half of the battle is just getting to know people, which seems like a scary thing, but that is what we have to do. So.
Yeah, you're right. I think tactical rhythms is a big part of that. When you're around your niches and you're like-minded people, I think the big thing is just to put the hammer on the gas and make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do to get in front of people, grow, network, brand, all that stuff.
Yeah, we preach that with our guys as well. They've got to be in networking groups. They've got to have people around that they can trust when somebody needs something, a vendor that they can send them to that's going to do a good job.
Yeah.
But also it's about, even within a team aspect of like team meetings and accountability check-ins, making sure that we're celebrating when the guys are doing the things that it's going to bring them business in the long term.
Yeah, you never want to have a meeting about a meeting, right? Like, we get that. And I love the Elon Musk thing. Like, if you're in a meeting and it's not going anywhere, you can just get up and walk out. And that's culture, right? So, like, I love the don't waste time thing, but I do like, for instance, on Elevate, we do a sales meeting once a week. And it's kind of a hype meeting, right? Like, we try to get people in there and do stuff to get them motivated. But at the end of the day, we've got actionable items, and we're asking to drive. We're setting the expectations. We're setting the goals. Every business needs that. And what I've seen with smaller businesses and people that are, when you start having those 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 employee businesses, the smaller businesses that are starting to grow and scale, I think when you talk about losing your soul, you loop that right back around of, well, when everybody's just running around like a madman, doing whatever they can to do it, there's no organization, there's no guardrails up, I always use the analogy of, I don't need the flock to fly in a perfect V, I just need them to fly south, or I need to fly west, or that way, or this way, right? Yeah. So it's the same situation. When you have some meetings like that, and maybe meetings isn't even the right thing, stand and deliver moments. Hey, what did you do this week? What was that? Something I love that we do in our meetings is, hey, what's a win? Because as a business owner, your win and an employee's win, they'll be in different stratospheres from what that is. And you need to have empathy and understand where people are, and you need to meet them where they are to help coach them where you need them to be for the company. But if you flip that around and you're hearing that we had a win, me and my wife went to our kids' soccer game, we didn't fight. Well, man, they're dealing with something, right?
Yeah. And you find out the motivations for people.
Yeah, you've got their motivations, you've got all sorts of stuff. And like, when you hear something like that, that's an indicator. And if you have people that are falling off the bus, falling off the wagon with what you're doing, like, you got to pick those people up, you got to surround them, you got to put grace around them, you got to hug them, and you got to get them back going. And I think that's, as a good Christian leader, you have to understand what's happening around you. And better leader you are, more awareness you are, when you have those meetings where you can kind of circle the wagons and circle people and see what's going on, I think that allows you to have insight in people's lives. And guess what? If they're struggling with something, do you think they're going to have a great performance at your job? And if they're upset over this, do you think when they talk to a customer, they're going to act upset about something? Absolutely. The same emotions are emotions, right? So you got to really manage that. So if you're one of the buckets sitting here going, my business is getting out of control, I don't know what to do, that's where you really need to, you need to look back at yourself, look in the mirror and say, okay, what am I going to do right now to do that, right? And we have different exercises that we work with our coaching clients to try to get the wagon back on the bus and do that. I'm going to flip it back to somebody that's listening to this podcast and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to scale 1 inch. Like, this is terrible. No, it's great. You got to set your systems and guardrails up. So if you've done this and you have a problem, guess what? You get to go clean it up, fix it, get it back going, learn to be better at it, move forward again. Yeah. If you haven't done it, now's the time to jump on ChatGPT, to get in AI, to do stuff, to figure it out, figure out what your North Star is. Organize your thoughts, organize your business. We've talked about this a couple weeks now. Really get organized on what you're wanting to do, and then start figuring out how to put stuff in place to do that. Set up a meeting time, set up a whatever it is. You don't have to be smart at this. You're a business owner. You may be the best plumber in the world and you have no idea how to run people. Yeah. But if you've got a salesman and this person and that person, get them in a meeting, go to ChatGPT and say, help me write up a team meeting to keep my business going in the right direction with everybody. It's a start, right?
Yeah, it's a
one
baby
step. The next step, the next step. You can do so much. As a leader, you have to do that. And you can flip this to what we always do every week. What if you did that for your home? What if you did that for your walk with Christ? I mean, what if we spent a little effort in those things? Imagine how we would elevate our personal lives if we did this in different segments of our life.
Yeah, I think the scary thing about that is that in order to do that for your team or for your employees, you got to do it for yourself.
You do.
And so you have to ask yourself those questions as well. What did I do this week that was bringing value to the company? What did I do this week that is building our brand and scaling and getting people into the arena, And so if we're going to ask our employees our team doing that.
What are my, if you're sitting there looking at yourself going, I don't even know where to start. I'm a mess. I'm a mess. Where do I start? Well, what's a win for the family this week? What's a win for your church life this week? What's a win for your business here this week? Yeah. There's 3 things. And then another question that we asked for today's team meeting for our guys for tomorrow is, out of all these things that you know you need to be doing, what's the scariest thing that you're afraid to go do? What is that? Well, so if you say, what are the wins in all these? Well, what am I afraid to do in all these? Is it I'm not opening my Bible enough, reading it? All right, pick it up. Is it I'm afraid to have this conversation with my wife? I feel this way. She feels that way. And it's way easier to sweep it under the rug, pretend stuff's fine, and just in a week it goes away. Well, it really doesn't ever go away. Is it having that conversation? Yeah. Business life. I've lost my soul in my business. The business has lost its soul. This is my thing. Where did it go?
We're just going through the motions.
So I think asking some simple questions will really start leading you down that. And guess what? Go through it in AI. Go through it in ChatGPT, Grok, whatever you use. Go kick out some stuff and get on the bandwagon to do this. We're here to help. We love helping clients through these situations. These clients are our friends. People listen to this podcast. We're here for a reason. Check it out. If you have anything that you need, we are absolutely here to help.
Yeah. The title of this is How to Scale Your Business Without Losing Your Soul. I think that another conversation we could lean in and get from this is, how are we going to scale if we don't have our soul? And so if you're in a business that's going through the motions and you're like, man, I want to scale, maybe it's a time, an inflection point for us to find out exactly where the direction is we're going. Because if you don't have the direction, then you're not going to be able to scale to get there either. It's kind of a two-edged sword.
The Bible talks about time and time again, peace and going in reflection and getting space. Jesus every day stepped away from everybody, had his own time. Yeah. I think as a business owner in a business, and it applies to every one of those segments, but as a business owner, if you can this sounds crazy, you're going to look at me like I'm nuts. If you can go have an out-of-body experience and just hey, I'm not going to be in tomorrow, or I'm going to be in, but I'm not doing anything, so don't even ask me. I'm not here. And you just go walk around and watch what's happening and listen. And we all do that anyways, right? You walk from A to B, you overhear a conversation, you overhear this. You have those, right? And if you can almost think of it like an out-of-body experience, if I was going to come in and look at this business and just get a 40,000 foot view of everything going on, that's one of those really powerful things. If you can pause and reflect. The Bible talks about it. Go Google it and look it up. Yep. Use those principles in your business and step back and not be emotionally connected to it and just listen and look and analyze. That is the first step, in my opinion, to do exactly with what you were saying.
Yeah. And one thing, this is kind of crazy as well. In a real estate company, you're working 7 days a week. You're on call the weekends, people work 9 to 5. You're talking to them 5 to 9, right? You're working in different ways throughout the week. You don't clock off or clock out. And one thing that we're trying to implement in our team is this concept of a Sabbath, of a day where, like you said, if your home life isn't right, then it's going to affect your business. If you're getting burnt out because you're working all the time and you always feel this pressure of, I got to talk to somebody, I've got to respond to that one person. We're building a system, and I think it can apply to any place. There's some jobs that are easier than others.
Yeah.
But that's why this team thing is so important to us, is so that we can carry the load for our agents on a day to where they can be off, they can turn off the phone, they can get in nature, they can touch grass, they can do that, be with their family, and get a break, because it is a nonstop field. And I think that as we do that for our agents, we're seeing productivity rise. We're seeing people more excited about their job, more excited about what they're doing and serving their clients. Yeah. And it's that back to that rhythms thing. How do we create those rhythms in our lives, within our family, within our faith? As a dad, you got 3 little ones. I've got a little one. How are we having those rhythms with our kids? And then as a business owner, you have multiple roles. As a business owner, you're the CEO, you're the lead salesperson, you're the marketing guru, you're the person that everybody goes to when they have an issue. How do you build out those rhythms? And I think it's gotta be that you've got to break away in some moments. Not that you can maybe be able to do that weekly, but you've got to build out rhythms.
But you feel it, right? You get that anxiety, oh my gosh, there's something going on. This is happening or that's happening. I don't like it. I got that weird feeling in my gut. When you get that weird feeling in the gut, you need to listen, right? Because you're probably not wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. So scaling, it's kind of funny. We're talking about scaling. We're talking about making rhythms to where you can step back. Yep. But it's so true. If in order to do it on a firm foundation, you've got to build that from the beginning. And so if you let your family behind and you're scaling a business going 100 miles an hour, I mean, you might feel good in a season, but you're going to look back and say, man, I sacrificed too much for what I did. Yep. And then you end up, maybe treating employees in a certain way because you're giving up so much and you're expecting them to do it as well. Yep. And so it causes frustration. And so
the death spiral.
Yeah, exactly. So that's good. I think that's a good conversation. We've had conversations with business owners that have done it both ways. Yep. And sometimes we're like, man, maybe they should be a little more ambitious. And then sometimes we're like, man, they killed it, but they ended up losing a lot on the process. Mm-hmm. And I think it's finding that balance. Everybody's got that motivation of this is where I want to be. This is what sustains my family. This is what this needs to look like. Mm-hmm. So finding what that is and then pushing to it is a really important thing. So,
love it.
Yeah, very good.
All righty. Well, we're going to wrap this thing up. Stefan, It was great talking to you today. We are so excited. We actually have a new Facebook page. We've had people message us and say, we don't know how to get a hold of you. So we made a Facebook page. It took us all of 8 minutes. So check us out on Facebook. Go like it, follow it. Subscribe.
We do want to build resources, and we're kind of doing that as we go here. A lot of these topics are topics that people have talked to us about or that other business owners have helped us in. And so if you ever are listening to this and you're like, man, I need to grow in this area, I need to figure something out here, reach out to us because we'd love to be a resource or connect you with somebody that could be a good resource. And so when it comes to scaling, I will say that Drew is a genius at this. He has helped our business grow with some of the systems that we put into place that have really helped us to scale in a way that we can keep our why, we can keep our soul. And so if you're in a place that you're like, hey, I'm wanting to scale or my business is taking off and I'm kind of getting lost in the shuffle there, reach out to us. We'd love to be a resource. We'd love to help in any way we can.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's podcast at the Founders Table. We're really excited to do these. Check out our Facebook page, shoot us a message if you have any questions, and we will see you guys again next week.